Hello, this is a quick tutorial to show you how to use OVCLI tool. So I'm on the Windows box, and the tool you can, they run in a Docker format or download on the Windows, or if you want to compile, if you know, Go, Google's Go programming language, you can just download, to your source code to go get the source code and to build it on your workstation. I use Mac for development, but this tool can run all across, Mac, Linux, and Windows. So this is a quick show for the Linux side, for the Windows side. So right now, you can see uh, I don't have any tool running. So right now, if you do go to the web page. So this is a web page for the tool. My username for the github.io.ovcli. You can view the source code here. If you want to just care about the download the binary file, you can just download from here. So right now it's downloading. It's about 10 meg file. It's in my download directory. If you want to move it uh, to somewhere else, that's, as long as you have a path set up, it's okay. So OVCR, type in the just a command that will show you the current release number, and what you can do the most implementation right now is around the show command. And first you need to log into appliance, right? So and also you can do some basic create and delete for the network for the server profile resources. So the first step after you have the binary ready, you need to log into the Synergy OneView Synergy appliance. So the way this tool uses, you need to create your login credential profile. It's very simple. It's a text file. It's in the YAML format. So Notepad login DCS. So this is pretty much the format. You need to give in the IP address field, username, password, IP address, your real IP address. The password. If you have like special character, you should double quote to make sure the coding can successfully pass in the every character in the field. Okay, so we can do the first step is login load, and you do the file, you do the login DCS text. So it will say, okay, the file has been loaded correctly. So the pretty much the program will use the default file called this. So whatever file you give it, it will just copy the file into this file name, and then program will load the credential from this configuration file. So if you can do the login show to verify. Okay, so make sure the password is in the clear text. Just want to make sure, be cautious about that. And you can, this is only to show, okay, what's the current login credential you have locally. But if you want to make sure it's working, you can do the verify. Okay, so right now this is a Synergy simulator, but it doesn't matter Synergy real, frame and Synergy simulator. It will come back, say what's the appliance current version. 500 is kind of more like Synergy OneView release 3.1. Okay, so that shows from your workstation you can successfully reach your Synergy OneView appliance. And so you only need to do this once. If you only want to keep logging to the same Synergy frame, you don't need to do any logging anymore. You can just starting from this moment, you can do the show commands, whatever show, create or edit command. But if you have a multiple login credential, you can create a multiple, text or YAML configuration file. You just need to switch it. So the first one, this is for the simulator. I have another one. It's called Synergy text. It's the same format. It's just with my real Synergy frame username and password. I will not show it here, but pretty much you can also do the show to verify. I will just directly verify to login credential with connecting to the real Synergy. Okay, so now it's coming back. You can see the IP address has changed. So starting from this moment, if you want to keep working on this Synergy, you can start to do some show command like OVCLI show network or OVCLI show server profile. Okay, or you can give it a name. So sometimes you can type in a help to make sure you can see which kind of flag you have. So you can see this command have the name or short, dash n. Either you use dash dash name or dash n. It's the same thing, and you can specify a server profile name. That's pretty much across the board for all resources. If you want to list everything, you can do the all. If you want to list just one resource, you can just give it a name. Okay, so we'll do the this time we'll do the uh, dash name. We'll give it dash all uh, to list all the resources. You can see right now I have this all the listed all the profile. So this is the two image streamer. You can see the server profile name and the connections and the OS deployment settings, and and that's you can across multiple server profile resources. And if you want to check for some uplink, you can do the uh, show. You can type in question mark, type in show. You will see all the resources you can see with current release. You can see the show logical interconnect, and you can see I have two uh, right now. So showing up, I can say, okay, I only interested on the details about this one. Okay, that shows the what's your uplink set, what's the network name inside it, what's the uplink port. Okay, so and what's the module included for this logical interconnect. Okay, so the another thing is the show MAC address. Currently, we don't have a way, the CRI way to see the MAC address. Uh, but we can do something like this with. So you can do the show OVCLI show MAC dash dash address or that and VLAN. You can do either a VLAN or address or both. And then it will pull the synergy to query the synergy OneView appliance to give it back what's the database resource for this MAC address. This may take some time. In my experience, it may take between 15 seconds to a couple of minutes. So I'll pause the video here and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, it came back with a result, right? You can, if you just filter the VLAN, you should see some like port uplink port like a Q5 colon 1. So that's pretty much the format. And um, the another thing is the create command. So right now, if you want to create some resource like a network or server profile template, you should do this is pretty much the format you will be using. So in your current directory, you should have something called in this is the in a YAML format. So the name doesn't matter, but the format does matter. So this you should say okay, what's the network name and what's the VLAN ID, and we have a sample profile you can download, you can use on the GitHub, and you can see the if you want to see the kind of general format for the different source you can take a look at around here. Okay. So, but this is mainly just to want to give you an idea how to use the config YAML file. And if I want to create a couple of networks, you can say OVCLI create. You can see I can create the network SP template network, era link, logical internet group, and logical enclosure group. Okay, so we'll just create something simple like create network dash f, or this is the same thing dash f, or um, dash file. So to give it a tag to, so I want to use this file for any network I defined over here. So now it's creating. So you have a kind of status to show, okay, if it's a successful. So right now, if you want to do the show network, okay, you can see it here. It's just created with a 671 and a 672 I specified. So if you want to delete it, right? So you can do the delete network name. So you would need to specify a name. If you just specify the part of the character, it will search, do the wildcard search for everything matching this pattern. So right now I want to delete anything with my name attached. So it will come back finished. We'll do the show network again. Okay, so now you see it's finished. So another thing is I also did some implementation again, the image streamer, which is a powerful OS deployment tool working together with OneView. So if you want to do the OVCLI show, you can see we have two options. One is OS deployment server. That's the view from the OneView perspective. Another, if you want to get more details about image streamer side, you can do the streamer option. So we'll do the show OS deploy server. We'll see what. So you can see that's a streamer, management IP, and what's a cluster, what's a current OS deployment plan available for this streamer. So if you want to see, okay, what's my streamer appliance details, this will take some time, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, depending on because the Synergy will try to pull the different resources. So you kind of know the internal management IP and ISCSI, OS deployment network, IP address assignment. So I feel this is not something easily available on the GUI, or so it's there on the API side. I just put it out available, so you have a understanding what's the IP address, assignment for the streamer side. So just one example.